Hey guys, how are you? It's been a minute since I've visited with you, but I wanted to talk to you and see how you were doing on this ascension process. And those of you that are in for the free prerequisite video, I'm going to discuss the fact that we are all in this ascension process that is going on now, rising from a low frequency into a higher frequency. So some of us have already gone through this enlightening process, and we are at a higher vibration, holding the place for the rest of you that are scrambling, trying to get here. And of course, we're not saying that we're as high as we can go, but we are already ahead of much of the rest of the mass consciousness on the planet. And we're pulling the rest of you guys forward into the life of your dreams, into the life where you're the creator and you don't have to rely on everything and you make money yourself. So we're not relying on the system anymore. That's what the ascension process is. And I'm going through the part where I'm swapping over now. I'm still a public school teacher, but teaching these other classes online is how I'm moving personally out of that dimension into the next one. So, like I said, we're all going through the period of ascension, and every soul goes through a metamorphosis. Every soul that comes in here incarnates as a child, and then we're free, we're wide open, we don't mind running around, we're not ashamed, we're not embarrassed, we've not been beat down yet. But then comes the programming, right? 0 to 7, you get installed programs. I hope you guys can see this. You're born, you're helpless, your fear is put into you because your parents have to keep you alive. So they have to keep you how to teach you how to fear things in order to keep you here. And then there's also the education system that we have in place that is very quickly changing. The veil is thinning for our education system, but a lot of our educators are not awake. So they can't teach this to the children because they themselves have not gone through it yet. So you go through competition, validation. Everybody needs to feel valid. All the distractions, and you have to survive. So you have to get out here and get a job and go through the 9 to 5 or whatever it is and hold it down, beat the dog to death to earn the money. You know how hard it is in the 3D world until you move up in consciousness, and then you start realizing, oh, I came here to play, but I'm jumping ahead of myself. So we go through all the programming of the things, and if we don't escape the loop, we train our children in the same way, and they end up hating their lives, trying to kill themselves or beat themselves to death at these jobs to where they're just trying to make money so hard. That's not how life here is supposed to be. So you incarnate as a child, and then you're given your ego. So if you don't realize that you are not the color of your skin, or the name that you were given, or the gender that you are yet, then you're going to have to thread through the eye of the needle, or go through what is called the dark night of the soul. And you're going to have an ego death, and it is painful. And during that process, you lose all of your material possessions, and you shed the ego consciousness. And I went through this in 2009, and I made it harder than what it had to be. So mine lasted for 3 years. It was from 2009 until the end of 2011. And very dark times for me. But after you go through this dark time, dark night of the soul, you reach your higher self. And this is where you realize that you have things to give the world, and the world needs this information, and they're going to pay you to translate this information. This is where you realize you've got to have a YouTube channel to spread the good news. You've kind of tapped into the Christos Christ consciousness that is here for everyone in this age of Aquarius right now. We were in the age of Pisces, where war and suffering and lack seemed like all there was. Many people that incarnated then, not many, a few, realized that it was a fake illusion, that it was a Maya, and that it was a game that's being played. But for the most part, the people that were here felt like that's all there was. And until these past 50 years, that's the reality that everyone had to live, right? So 25,000 years ago, it was a golden age. It was the age of Atlantis and Egypt, and we weren't fighting each other all the time. And during that time, our nervous system was very calm. We were meditating and feeding the body the correct way, drinking the correct water, doing all of the things that calmed the nervous system so that the mind could ascend into the next level, into the higher frequencies. That was just a normal thing. They went through mystery schools and they trained their kids how to do this. And that should have happened, I believe, in the 1940s. But things got hijacked and went sideways, and some entities came in and took over and did not allow us to start going through all of this. So there was a lot that had to happen. The harmonic convergence in 1987, if you've not heard about it, look it up, where a lot of people meditated and decided to take us into a different timeline. They helped raise the consciousness at least high enough for everything not to end the way that the Mayans had thought that it would. And now we know it's not the end of time, it's the end of a time, and that the two timelines will fracture out, and there will be a time before and a time after, and they're just going to be tragically, dramatically different. And there will be a lot of people that go through pain and suffering that don't realize why the timelines are having to shift this way. Or they just don't realize what's going on. But for those of you who are ready, then you're ready to start eating right, drinking right, exercising, doing the things so that the body itself is ready for the ascension, and you will go through a rise in frequency, a rise in consciousness, to where the surviving stops and thriving begins. So this is the prerequisite to the magic. You'll have to forgive this. I'm at school, and I'm not going to cut this and do all that. But basically, we fell from the garden 25,000 years ago and got blocked out. A veil grew, or a darkening, a forgetting of the mind. And we forgot that we could live forever. We forgot that we vibrated at a higher frequency. We forgot many things. And now my battery thing is on. So if you would like to come back and learn more with me about this, more in depth, then you can go to folkafllc.com and sign up for my classes, and I will help you go through what seems painful right now, but really shouldn't be, right? Because you are ready, especially if you've already been through this, and you realize that you're spiritual, you realize you have a gift, and you realize that there's more to life than a 9 to 5 job and what your parents programmed into your head, then you're ready to ascend. And that's what the ascension is. It's rising above so that we don't need the 9 to 5 anymore, and we don't depend on outside forces, that our money comes to us, provides for us, and gives to us so that we can help the others. We came to help everybody else. Isaiah 42:7, you came to lead, don't quote me word for word, but to lead others out of the prisons, to take them out of the dark dungeons. Their minds are corrupting their lives. Life sucks and then you die. That's what most people think, but that's not true. It's not true at all. You came here to play. You came here to play this game, and you came here to win. And I'm here to help you if that's the point where you are right now. So, like I said, come join me on Folk AF, Folk, FOLK, AF, LLC.com, and sign up for the classes. We'll see you there.